What's up, guys? Today's video ugh, is going to be on replacing your thermostat, the housing, obviously the seal and the gasket. It's a pretty simple job. All you're going to have to remove is your coolant reservoir and the whole air box system. But if you want to locate it, let me show you where it's at. So follow the air box across the distributor, and there it is. That's your guy right there. That should be your I believe that should be your fan switch. When it kicks in your fan, just two bolts that hold it on each side. Obviously, to make this job easier, we're gonna have to remove this hose as well, and then remove that that sensor out the way, since we're gonna put in a new housing. Cool. So let's start off by removing the reservoir. Okay, and we're gonna remove this now. And we're going to hook the air temperature sensor. Let's remove that. Should be from last time. Put the clip on top. Okay, so now you unhook that. You just press on this tab all the way down, and then just kind of push it here from the top. So that's done. Now let's just release here. All you're gonna need is this long screwdriver. Just kind of reach into that. Lock pliers, well, not lock pliers, but just to release that. So let's get that out the way. Now we're just loosening this up now. Alright, let's put those tools down. So next, what you want to do is just push it from here. So you can use this as like a force, kind of push that down. See how I'm able to push that down. And from there, we could push this some more, and then just remove it slowly from there. So as you need two hands. Obviously you can't do it with both cameras, with the camera in my hand, but as you push this, kind of lean that, you grab the tube that connects onto the valve, and you push this away as you push that down, and that comes off. From there, you should be able to slide that off. You shouldn't have any issue. At the same time, go ahead and just remove these bolts, 10mm socket extension, just to kind of give me some reach. So just kind of loosen these up. After you're done that, you see now you got a little bit more wiggle room. Kind of lift this up and kind of just slide this out. That's it, and it slides right out. So set that aside. Now you got more room to work with. Now you can kind of leave this on the side. I can just focus all on this now. So I guess we can start off by loosening this clamp on the hose. So it's going to be a flathead from what we can see. So just grab your flathead and just start find an angle. If that doesn't work, you might have to use a small little socket. So like, for example, I'm having trouble doing that, but there we go. I just got an angle, kind of with my hands a little bit. Grab one of your catch cans, toss it in the bottom. From there, you're gonna make more of a mess, but let's just put it there anyways. I just start to wiggle this out. So that's, I see how it comes right there. So now we're gonna move this hose out the way. So perfect. You see how it's just tripping all the way down? See the pan down there? That's pretty cool. Next thing would be is unhooking it from here. The sensor should be a clip on there. So back as I stated, you press on this tab and then slide it. See, that slides out. Cool. You just press on that tab. So set that aside. We could remove the entire thing if we wanted to. See all that corrosion? You could clean that corrosion off if you like. If you're gonna reuse it, obviously, if you're just changing your thermostat. I bought a new one. It's only a couple bucks at AutoZone. Lifetime warranty. You could remove it with the sensor under, or just take it off like that, because it holds, you know, the sensor in place, so you have to do double work. So let's just remove that sensor switch. To loosen that, I used a 1-inch with the breaker bar, just in case you don't have one. That's because I'm replacing the whole thing. So now, when I loosen that, you can kind of just thread this out slowly. See how it just Yeah, so this looks like the fan switch because there's two blades in there. But regardless, that's the coolant dripping out, so we're gonna let it drip. Might take some time, but it's falling on the can, so we could kind of reuse that good coolant that's on there. Pan is clean, I cleaned it off. But just look at all that corrosion that just builds up. So just might as well replace it, you know, guys. Let's move this out the way. Yeah. All right, so back at it. Those two bolts there are going to be 10 millimeters, so go ahead and grab your ratchet and your 10 millimeter socket, and then we're going to loosen that. We're going to do the bottom one first, just because as it opens, it's going to seep out more coolant and lands on that pan. There's a ground wire that's attached there, so just kind of move that to the side. So what you can do now is grab your glove back on and just kind of wiggle this. That way you loosen up on the bottom part as well. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Looks like we have three of them. Let's look back at the other. Yeah, you know what, guys? It's gonna be three. So my mistake. It's actually three that you're gonna have to loosen up. See that? So that was my mistake. The first one on top is for the ground. Now the other two are the ears that hold the housing in place. See that? So let's get that on there. That's what I'm doing. So now that's off. Now we could kind of loosen it. Keep these together. Now you don't lose them. The difference. This was for the ground, was a smaller one. Now just get the one on the other side. That's the guy. Just go ahead. I think you might need an extension for this. Yeah, let me bring the extension. So, extension. Don't be afraid to push down onto the heater hose. Nothing's gonna happen to that. Now let's loosen up. Now that's what goes out. Oh, see, cool. So that thermostat is kind of holding the coolant from coming out. Now I want you guys to look at something real quick, but let's put this down. Old beat up one. So take a close look in which way that bleeder valve is facing. So it's facing up. That's the one. That's how you want to install. You see that opening on that gasket seat? That's exactly what you want to do. That goes there. So you always want that facing to the top. So let's remove that thermostat. So I grab the flathead, put it in through here, and just kind of work your way. So what I did is I opened it a little bit so it could trip onto the pan. If I open it the entire way, it's gonna come flying out, and you don't want that. So if you could hear that, that's falling all the way down there. This will clean later. We'll just do some brake cleaner, but that's falling all the way down there, which is good. We're catching a lot of good coolant. Good way to catch coolant. So it's gonna be a lot of coolant once you kind of take this out. So just let that drip, but just remember which way that valve and which way it was in. Remember, it was in that way. That way. I don't see a gasket on there. There was no gasket on this. No way. So obviously, bye with the old, goodbye. And hello to the new. See, that's the gasket that came. I don't know why I didn't have it. No, now it's gonna have one. New O-ring, new thermostat. Remember which way. So if you've never done one before, the thermostat O-ring has an opening inside. So you're just gonna slide that between the, I guess, top of the thermostat. That I said, I guess, not I guess. It goes on there. Sorry guys, sometimes, you know. But yeah, So just remember how you place that. You place that on top. Between those two ears, you want to make sure that's facing upwards. So now let's place that. Okay, that's that in place. So you're gonna apply the gasket like that, and you're gonna force that in. Now you won't see me doing it because I can't hold the camera and do this at the same time. I do need 2 fingers, so I'm gonna have to kind of slide that bolt in right there. Let me show you. So you slide one in first, and then from there you start to hand thread one, and then you do the other one while holding that kind of in place. But I can't do it obviously with 2 hands, but you get the idea of what's supposed to be done. All right, now we just do a bit of hand thread. We just kind of fix this, adjust this, and let's add the other one. So you don't want to tighten everything down one side all the way down and one side no. You might get an uneven balance. So just do this first a little bit, then the bottom one, then back to the top. That way it balances. Cool. So I slightly did the bottom or the left ear. Now let's retighten the right ear now. Cool. Now it is completely done. That's on there. That thermostat is facing the way it should. I don't think I get a good view of it. That in there. No. But Leo's on top. You can't really get a good image. But okay, now let's add the fan switch. So you might want to be careful. Sometimes on the old housings, that O-ring on the fan switch might get stuck on there. So luckily, it did get stuck, but I was able to remove it nicely towards reusable. But that's what it is. You know what? Let me clean this up. The best I can do, but let's drag that back on by hand first. By hand. Don't go crazy on tying these. When you tighten stuff like this, just feel that it's real snug till you know where that's good. You'll know when you're trying to snug it. But obviously, even if it does start to leak from a little bit, just tighten it a little bit. But we should be good. And so now we are going to add the hose back on. So just wiggle that in there. You know what I mean? Just grab that and wiggle that. Oh yeah. Well, that's in there. Let's tighten the clamp. Ooh, almost forgot. Don't forget the ground. We can still reach. Got that tight on the ground. Let's add the clip. See that clip? There you go. That click. And before we move forward with the air system, with the air fresh hose and the box. Let's just don't forget to tighten that clamp on your lower bottom hose. That's really snug. I did the other ones to make sure. Do some other ones. If you see any other stuff like that, just make sure they're snugged. Next, you want to wiggle that in there. Like I said, you push this line back. Ouch. Then you're able to slide that in. There. Now all we gotta do is hook up the clip. But before we hook up the clip, the wire, because the wire is pretty short, you want to hook it up here. Since these are off, easy to remove. Easy to, push away from the hose so you could attach it together. Okay, so you make sure that slide that in. Those 2 teeth go in between that, I guess, little wall on there. Now we could apply the 2 bolts that hold this air box down. There we go. One. Hand tight, always hand tight. Grab this one. Go all the way right there. Alright, y'all see my challenges. Let's see if I can make it all the way from here. Alright, y'all ready? 1, 2. That's crazy, yo. Y'all know about that. I just add it here. Okay, that's done. Remove the cap. We're gonna add coolant on there. Let's add the reservoir back. All right, so from the coolant that we were able to catch and save because it was still green and it's a clean pan, I added some to the reservoir. What I did was I removed some of that old coolant on there. The reservoir is old. I told you guys in the last videos that This is one of the things I'm going to swap out. I haven't had time to order it though. It's really dirty. I managed to clean it out real good so there was no more dirt building up in there. So I added the coolant. Now let's just add some more coolant on here. So you add coolant, you want to grab that bottom hose and just kind of just squeeze it. And you can hear that. Let's add more coolant. So now what we're going to do is we're going to air out the system. Now it's pretty easy to air out the system. All you have to do is remove the cap, start the car with the heater on all the way at full blast. So as you do that, water pump's going to start pumping out more. The heater valve is going to open, allow water into the heater core. And it's just going to suck all the airs out. This might take about 30 minutes to do that. You got to let the car warm up good. As you do that, the air is going to be pushed out. More coolant's going to be pushed in. You're going to have to keep adding coolant. But don't worry, nothing's going to splash on you just because the cap is off. It's just releasing all that pressure. All that pressure. You're going to keep adding coolant till you're at a moment where the coolant's on top. You don't see any more air bubbles popping out of the radiator. And you're good. You just put that cap back on and you're good to go. And then that's how you kind of bleed out your system. Obviously, we're going to show you how it's done. But let's push the car out towards the back. Front of the house, I meant. So start the car. Your heater on at full blast. And just wait for that temperature to rise up. It's going to take a minute, but that's how you do it, guys. And just keep checking on the coolant as it goes down. See, it kept sucking a little bit more, but it's going to suck in. Once it warms up, thermostat's going to open. And just keep doing it, guys. And that's how you bleed out that. But essentially, that's how you change your thermostat and the housing. Not that hard. Pretty simple. Hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next videos. Peace.